Yes. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I can see so many smiling faces. Very happy, rainy evening at Bangalore.
It's pouring cats and dogs in Bangalore, where I'm sitting right now.
Already coming this day. Rain energizes me, and I definitely be better with rains. Right. So, very good evening. Welcome, everybody.
Just somebody saying that they're not able to hear. How is it with the others?
Not able to hear.
We can hear loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So maybe please, if you're not able to hear, check your audio. Yeah. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you. Welcome to this masterclass, Navigating ICF Credentials. About me, I'm Ponlata, and at around 2018-19, I think I started dreaming about becoming a coach, but never did take any action. And then that kept coming to me because of so many good hearts from the education fraternity that I've met over 10 plus years. They kept telling me the conversations with me somehow were deeper, and then they were resonating even after many months or years. So that kept me thinking that there is more to it and I should do something about it. And that's when I stumbled upon coaching. And I didn't take any action further. But then post COVID, I think all of us went through some sort of a retrospection. I think that is when I was also started looking at what does this coaching mean? What is the pathway to become a coach? And then I started looking up a lot of websites. And I also started stalking a lot of coaches in LinkedIn. And that is how I stumbled upon Shrikant's LinkedIn profile. And somehow, whatever he was writing there came across authentic. And I sent him a personal message saying I would like to connect to authentic people and learn from mentors like you. So would it be possible? And the very first question that I had was, can I become a good coach? Very simple question. Didn't ask pathways, didn't ask how, didn't ask how much money, nothing. I had questions only about, can I become a good coach? Because I wanted to clarify that self-doubt first and then chuck it out of my head. So our very first coaching conversation was on that. And then somehow at the end of 45 minutes, he made me tell that I can become a good coach, as if it was dawning from within me. And that's when I understood, yeah, this is how coaching works, maybe. I don't know. And then I just trusted in his mentorship. And then when he said he's going to start a cohort, and I jumped right in. So that is how I met Shrikant. Now, about Shrikant, he's over 3 decades of experience. And then I would say after a very successful corporate career, he transitioned into coaching and mentoring. He co-founded Guiding Light Collective in 2020 to coach, and he's been coaching, I think, executives, entrepreneurs, startup founders, if I'm right. Correct, Shri? With over 3,000 hours of coaching experience, he's also coached more than 500 individuals and mentored 200 plus aspiring coaches. Shrikant is an ICF credentialed MCC coach and is passionate about enabling coaching education and develop skills in coaches and bringing successful coaching practices that last longer within each coach that he's mentoring. So Shri, did I miss anything?
No, I don't think you missed anything. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. My wife doesn't think very highly about me. So good that we are recording this and we are going to play this to her.
Yes. So since you gracefully agreed for this masterclass, I've also done my bit of introducing you really well. Yes. All right.
Okay.
Now, I think we have a mixed bunch of audiences. We have aspiring coaches. We also have credentialed coaches. So considering this mixed audience, I think I would go with the very first basic question. So you are an ICF credentialed master coach. So what do these words mean? Can we start with these?
So ICF credential master certified coach. So ICF stands for the International Coaching Federation. Yeah. ICF stands for International Coaching Federation, which is the largest body for setting standards in the coaching industry. I think it started sometime late 1990s, I think 1998, and they completed 25 years. So they have set up standards that they call it a mix of principles, code of ethics, and competencies, based on which they develop this credentials. So credentials are basically, let me first talk about a certificate. So certificate is you go to a program only on the competencies, you get a certificate. Credentials, you go through a rigor of process like, this is a governing body which is looking at the way that you behave, the code of conduct, and so many things. So it's a little bit stringent, more than just getting a certificate. Okay, what does Master Certified Coach means? So there are multiple levels in ICF. The first initial level is called the ACC, Associate Certified Coach. Second one is called the PCC, Professional Certified Coach, and the last one, the final one, is called the Master Certified Coach, is the MCC. So all put together, the last I checked, as of December 2023 data, there are about close to 52,000 coaches, credentialed coaches by ICF, out of which there are about 4% Master Certified coaches. So I don't have a colors, but I can say, yeah, I'm one of them.
I think you're not missing an opportunity. That
Yeah, I know.
yeah. Right. So you mentioned there is a body and whose the body looks after certain ethics and practices, and you mentioned it's a little more, you used the word stringent.
Yeah.
So what makes you say all of that?
Because to see a certificate means you go through a course and anybody can give us a one-day workshop and you become a certified life coach. Okay, you attend a program and you just sit for like some 8 hours or 16 hours in a place, and then they will teach you something, and then they give a certificate and say now you're a certified life coach. They are not a authority, they don't have credibility. Anybody can give a certificate. But if you have to give a credential, it has to be done by a regulated body, right? Which has got their ethics and rules and people who are taking care of, and so many things. Yeah, that's the difference.
So I presume you're mentioning ICF as a credentialing body here.
Yes, correct. So what ICF has done is ICF has set the standards. When I say standards, they said, okay, these are ICF code of ethics, and then they have the guiding principles, and then they have the core competencies. So core competencies are basically skills based on which aspiring coaches have to be trained to develop those skills. But skills is not enough. And there are other two things that they have to be governed. So that's why I call ICF as a credentialing body.
So let me understand this first. So in LinkedIn, say 5 years ago or 4 years ago, when I started looking at coaches, I did come across a lot of them mentioning life coach or mentioning credentialed executive coach, or somebody called them as sales coach. So there were different names of coaches that I was coming across. So are you saying all of these names and the specific credentials are given by ICF?
No. Anybody can call themselves as a coach. No problem with that, right? ICF only gives credentials under 3 different, I want to call it, certificates: ACC, PCC, and MCC. That's it. So when ICF gives a certificate, that certificate will have one of these 3 titles: Associate Certified Coach, or Professional Certified Coach, or Master Certified Coach. However, ICF does not provide education. Education is provided by ICF certified or approved partners, education organization. They can give us whatever they want to pay. They can say, this is a sales coach or transformational coach or whatever coach that they want to call it. But somebody on LinkedIn, in their title, they cannot say, I'm an ICF certified sales coach, I'm an ICF certified leadership coach. They're not supposed to say that, because ICF does not certify like that. The organization which provides the training, they can say they are giving the certificate, but ICF doesn't. So that's a fundamental difference. And on top of it, anybody can call themselves as a coach. That's no issue. But ICF will approve only 3 credentials.
So if I'm looking for ICF credentialed coaches, then I have to look only for whether they've gotten one of these 3 certificates, and then their niche or their specific area where they want to practice coaching can be any of the other areas. say executive coach, team.
Yeah. For example,
Am I-
I'll just repeating this again. ICF will give only one of these three credentials. Okay. Now, if you want to verify if somebody is an ICF credential coach, you can go to the website, coachingfederation.org, and there is a place to verify the credentials. You can put their full name and verify. ICF will throw the data and say, this is the name of the person. They got credential on this date, and their credential is valid till this date. That much of information that they give.
That's very helpful.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Because earlier I thought anybody who calls them as a sales coach, or anybody who calls them as say a millennial coach or entrepreneur coach are truly that.
No.
So when
They
you
can
said
call
the
themselves anything. That's not I can
Wow.
call myself a transformational coach, but I can't call myself an ICF certified transformational coach.
There lies the difference. Right.
Yeah.
So now we've been talking a lot around coaching. So can you tell me in just one or two lines, what is coaching?
Yeah. So this is a definition that I have come up after a long time. It has evolved over a period of time. So the way that I explain or describe coaching to somebody is that coaching is where I enable someone to know of themselves more without having to teach them.
So it's something like how you made me tell that I can become a coach myself in our first conversation.
Yeah.
It was like
so that is
it was
yeah, right. So basically what I'm saying is that coaching is not about teaching. Coaching is not about consulting. Coaching is not about advising. Coaching is not about mentoring. Yet you raise the self-awareness of an individual. When I say self-awareness of an individual, enabling them to know more of themselves so that they can sort out their life. Yeah. That's the way that I define coaching. But ICF has got a different definition that's there on the website. So I would like people to go there and check the exact definition of the ICF, the way that ICF define coaching.
So simply it means I have something within me, and then you're just enabling me to see that for myself.
Yeah, I'm enabling exactly right. Yeah. So basically coaching is about you have answers. Pretty much the philosophy of coaching is you have answers to all the problems, all the questions that is within you. However, you don't have the access to it. Coaching is a process of allowing or enabling you to get that access. That's the way to put it. Yeah.
The past few months or 1.5 years have been experiencing this thanks to you. Otherwise, I would have also been thinking, oh, how is that possible? I don't see that at all. Thanks. Right. So, I didn't ask this question to you initially. I just jumped into the program that you've just put together. But then now I'm asking for the sake of all the newbies that have joined here. So I am not a coach now. I want to become an ICC credentialed ACC coach. So associate certified coach. So how do I become one?
Okay. So just going back to the basic levels, ACC, PCC, and MCC, I'm just going to talk about 5 common things which are required. When I say required, so there's an eligibility part and a requirement part. So let me just talk about the eligibility, then I come to the requirement. So eligibility is about first one is coaching education, and second one is mentoring. Third one is client coaching hours. So this has to be sorted before you can apply for your credentials with ICF. So when you apply, there are 2 more things that need to happen. A live recording, the recording that you have done with a client has to be sent to ICF, and they will do a performance evaluation. When you pass that performance evaluation, they will send you a link to appear for the exam. So these are the 5 things. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, depending on what is the credential that you are applying for, ACC, PCC, or MCC, the requirement of coaching education, mentor coaching, and the client coaching hours will vary. So,
Okay.
since you asked about ACC minimum requirement for coaching education is 60 hours.
Hmm.
Mentoring is 10 hours. The mentoring has to come either from an ACC who has been a credentialed coach for a minimum 3 years, or a PCC or an MCC. Then your client coaching hours should be a minimum 100 hours. So when you have this, you send one recording to ICF, and then when you pass the performance evaluation of ICF, ICF will send you a link to appear for the exam. So when you pass the exam, they will give you a credential certificate, ACC, which will be valid for 3 years. Okay. Now, these are the 5 things: eligibility and requirements. Over a period of time, ICF has come up with different programs where all these have to be met. But some of the things that I talked about will be provided by a training provider, or they may not be provided by a training provider. So I'll talk about it a little later. So now let me just finish answering this, and I'll just carry on. If you have any questions, we'll sort it out. Yeah.
Right. So I'm understanding. So I would require something like a coaching education for 60 hours. And then I would require a mentoring hours of 10, plus my own coaching practice of 100 hours, plus one recording for an ACC, and then one recording that can go for an evaluation, and then an exam. So these many steps are there. So now let's take only step 1, say the coaching education 60 hours. So this, how do I get? How do I start with?
Okay. There are a couple of ways to get it. One is, if you look at the old programs approved by ICF, they have something called the ACSTH. Okay. ACST, sorry, is, no. Yeah. ACSTH means approved approved coach specific training hours. That is ACSTH. So in that, what happens is any coaching education provider will give you that minimum 60 hours that you want as coaching. Okay. The 10 hours of mentoring, they may give it as part of their program, or they may say, hey, you have to pay separately for it, or they may say you can go and get it from somebody else. Okay. Now there's another program called the ACTP, accredited coach training program, which was originally meant for PCC. So PCC requirement is 125 hours, 10 hours of mentoring. But if you've gone through the ACT program, the advantage is that the performance evaluation, recording for the performance evaluation, need not be submitted to the ICF. That is part of the ACT program, and it is the responsibility of the training provider to make sure the recording that you actually get assessed for the recording within the program. So if you go on to the ACTP program, the moment you have got your 60 hours, ACTP means you anyway got 121. Once you finish your 125 hours through ACTP, the moment you get your 100 hours of client coaching, you can apply for your credentials. So when you do that, what happens is you will automatically get the approval by ICF for the exam, because ICF has already approved the ACTP.
Got it.
Because your training and performance, everything is plugged into that. So if you put an application through ACSCH, which may take about 14 weeks, if you put an application to ACTP, it may take less time, maybe about 4 or 5 weeks. That's the difference. And of course, ACTP program fee will be higher than the ACSCH program fee.
Right.
And the application fee.
So you're trying to say, when you said the five.
Okay. Also,
steps.
one more thing is, sorry, I just forgot. Recently, about 2 years ago, they have introduced level 1 for ACC. So level 1 means the same thing like ACTP. Instead of 125 hours, it is 60 hours of coaching education, and only one recording. which will get evaluated by the training provider. In ACTP, anyway, in any case, only one recording will get assessed by the training provider. Yeah.
Right. So, say I'm signing up for a level 1 program and I've gotten through the 60 hours of education, and then I've gotten the 10 mentoring hours as well as part of level 1. Am I right?
Yes, you are supposed to. Yeah.
Okay.
As for the ICF prescription, when they award a level 1 accreditation to a training partner, by default, they have to give minimum 60 hours of coaching education, minimum 10 hours of mentoring. Out of that minimum 10 hours of mentoring, minimum 3 hours need to be one-on-one. The remaining whatever can be in a group setting. So these are minimum requirements. Yeah. And out of that 60 hours of minimum also, 50%, that is 30 hours should be in real time. Real time where the participants are able to interact with the faculty, either online or offline. That doesn't matter. Minimum. Okay. So sometimes out of a 60-hour program, somebody may say 45 hours we will do real time. The remaining can be self-study or whatever. But minimum has to be 30 hours. Yeah.
So when what I'm understanding is the first 3, say the education bit, mentoring hours bit, and then my one recording that's going to go, all 3, whichever pathway is going to give me together is something that's helpful, and it is on the aspirant to identify which training provider gives all the 3 together, or whether are they giving it together or not. Correct?
Exactly. So level 1, the way that the level 1 has been defined is all these 3 has to be given as one consolidated thing. So when you are when a potential participant, aspiring coach is coming to you as a training, for example, let's say they're coming to me for inquire about my program, I have to be extremely transparent about saying what I will offer, right? If I'm going to say your coaching education, you have to pay this much, mentoring, you have to pay this much, performance evaluation, pay this much, you have to state that upfront. Okay. That is the requirement by
That's
ICF.
not something that I come across, I think so.
Yeah, I also have come across situations like that. But as a training provider, which is governed by the ICF Code of Ethics, they have to be transparent about that. I also have come across situation where people have come and told me, I went to a training institute, they said it's a level 1 program. After I finished my 60 hours of coaching education, they said I have to pay another sort of whatever amount for the mentoring. So that if that is the case, they have to state that upfront. They cannot leave a potential or aspiring coach or a participant who want to participate in the program in dark. They have to make it very clear upfront.
Right. And this also clarifies that we should also ask it upfront whether all these 3 are offered by the training board.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because it's your hard-earned money, no? So you might as well clarify everything and then take an informed decision. Yeah, one more path which is there. It's a little confusing for a lot of aspiring coaches because this is a path which is which is not disclosed or training institutes don't want to educate. A path called the portfolio. Portfolio meaning the coaching education that you are getting, you don't have to get it in one place. You can go and get coaching education from multiple places. Let's say the 60 hours of coaching education which is required for an ACC, you can go and get 20 from one place, 20 from another place, 20 from another place. Your coaching education is sorted. Then you go find a mentor, and the mentor's primary role is to make sure that you get a thorough understanding of the ICF Code of Ethics, the core principles and the core competencies, so that you are very well prepared to coach at a level of a ACC, and also you are well prepared to pass the credentialing exam.
Yeah.
That is the mentor should take the responsibility.
Right. So far
then
we've been
with the recording, with this recording, you apply for ICF credentials. Everything is met. They will verify the coaching education. They will verify the mentoring. They will verify the recording whether it's passing the ACC criteria, passing criteria, and then if everything meets, they will send you a link to appear for the exam.
Got it.
So
Because
it doesn't matter which path you take. You can take ACSTH, you can take ACTP, you can take level 1, you can take portfolio. It doesn't matter what it is. But these 5 criteria that I spoke about in the beginning, everything has to be met. There is no compromise on that.
Right. So what I've understood is there are 5 very essential criteria to get a credentialed coaching certification, right?
Yeah.
So out of these 5, say there are many training education institutes, certified institutes, where I can go ask about these 5 and then clarify very clearly before joining for an education program.
Absolutely,
Now
because all that I'm sharing right now, Lata, is already there on the website. The issue is a lot of aspiring coaches, for whatever reason, either they don't want to invest the time to do the research, or they just do a Google search and find an institute and just go and talk to the training provider, and they completely trust what the training provider is letting them know, and then they just take a decision, right? So at that moment in time, that is the decision that they take because they have not done enough research, and then later they may feel that they took the wrong decision. See, I keep getting at least one message every week on LinkedIn saying that, hey, I went and did this course, I paid this much money, I didn't get value. I get messages like that. I mean, when I put a LinkedIn post about this masterclass in the last 1 week or so, I have very clearly said this is what is happening. So you cannot blame the training institutes because they are there to run a business, and you as a aspiring coach, you have to do your due diligence and make sure that you are careful and prudent about the money that you are investing.
I can also see many messages resonating with the same thing, like absolutely right. Himanshi says absolutely right. And then Pooja says many coaching education companies don't say that upfront, unfortunately.
Right.
So keep the messages coming. And then
one more thing I want to highlight here, Lata, is that, see, when you start the coaching education, right? So the first eligibility that I'm talking about, coaching education, mentoring, and the client coaching hours. The day that you start your coaching education, that is the day that your client coaching hours also starts. Okay. Now I want you to listen very carefully. Now that if you're starting your coaching education on a particular day, say you're starting it today, 2nd of June, right? Your mentoring also has to start on the same day. If your client coaching has to start on the same day, because ICF will start calculating the client coaching hours from the day that you started your program. If your client coaching hours has to start from the same day, your mentoring also has to start simultaneously, right?
Correct.
Right? But there are some institutes which are telling their participants, you go get your 80 hours out of the 100 hours, then we can start our mentoring. That I feel is total injustice to the participant who's investing so much of money and then left in the dark. Or finish that 60 hours of education and then we'll do the mentoring later. I think total injustice. See, everything that I'm talking right now, everything
less secure.
Everything that I'm talking right now in this webinar, everything is there on the website. Everything is there. I mean, when we have some time, I can just take you through and show it to you. A level 1 certification, level 1 certificate program provider, what all they need to do in their program is black and white, is there on the website. It is just that coaching aspirants don't do enough research, or just they blindly trust the training provider and go and invest their money, and after that, tough luck.
So when we announced this masterclass and when we started receiving a lot of questions from the aspiring coaches, what I also understood is, though the coaches make the initial research, they go through the website, they go through the pathways, the requirements, number of hours and everything. When they talk to a training education provider, and then they get confused with the mixed amount of information that they get. And after that, it becomes like okay, which one do I believe? Which one do I take? I'm getting 3 different kind of responses from 3 different institutes, and the website says something else. Now I'm totally confused about which one to pick. And then the decision boils down to the number of days, weeks, hours of investment and the pricing as well. I think this boils down to it. And then finally, after doing everything, they kind of maybe have ended up in a good place or not. And then the rest follows. Yeah, I think this is what I've understood in the past 2-3 weeks. Now, Narendra ji says plus the fee as well. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So before I open the floor for the participants, I have one more question. So here, when you mentioned about a training education provider should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 laid out very clearly, can you tell me a few questions that I can ask as a newbie to the entire coaching arena? I know nothing about, and I've just read the website a bit. I'm kind of in a place where I've understood a little bit about the pathways. So what kind of questions should I ask?
Okay, let me just open now that you asked me that question. Okay, so
Yes.
I was expecting this question to come anyway. So look at this. I can put this link in the chat box. You can do whoever's there, they can. Now, if you go there,
Yes, I can see the link.
ACC, PCC, MCC, you're able to see that on the screen, right? It says review requirements.
Yes,
Click
I'm
on
able
this.
to.
When you click on this, it will go take you to a place, right? Now, this is the data that I said, right? As of December 31, this many active ACC coaches are worldwide. Now, this is the eligibility that I talked about. This is the requirements I talked about. Okay. If it's a level 1 program, okay, for level 1 program, the training provider has to give this to you, minimum. They have to give this to you, minimum. And they have to take care of this. This 10 hours of mentoring is primarily to make sure that you are prepared to pass the performance evaluation. Okay. So this 60 hours of coaching education, 10 hours of mentoring, and this is on them, on the training provider. Okay. And ideally, if they have prepared you very well, because they're supposed to be running their program based on the ICF code of ethics and ICF core competencies, if they've taught you well, you also should be able to clear this exam without any difficulty, right? Right. This is on you. 100 hours of client coaching is on you as a participant. This, they can't do anything about it. But however, for you to be coaching at a level of an ACC, the mentoring has to happen from day one. Because otherwise, how would you know? Let's say that you coach for about 80 hours. How would you know that you coach the way that you are supposed to coach as an ACC? Unless you have been mentored that way. So you have to ask all these questions. Out of this, in your level 1 program, what are you giving me? And they will say, I'm giving all this put together. How much do I have to invest? Right? Or apart from investing with you, is there any other investment that I have to make? Of course, yes, you have to make an investment. When you put in the application for level 1, there is a fee here. Okay. Right. If you go through a level 1, ACC through level 1, level 2, whatever this path, if you're an ICF member, you'll have to pay $175. If you're not a member, you have to pay $325. That's why I said when you go through one of these parts, the turnaround time is less because ICF doesn't have to verify your coaching education. They don't have to verify your mentoring. They don't have to verify your performance because everything is done by the training provider.
Right.
Okay, that
because
is why
I'm
it
going
takes
to a certified training provider already.
Yeah. Shorter time. If it goes to an ACCS path, ACCS path, as I told you, the training provider is supposed to give you the coaching education only. If they want to give mentoring, they can give it, right? But the performance evaluation has to be done by ICF, and that is the reason the fee is a little bit more, and also it takes a little bit more time. Okay. Similarly, if they go to the portfolio path, the fee is a little bit more there and a little bit more at Memeron. It takes the same amount of time. So this one you will see across all the levels.
I understand.
Yeah.
So only the number of hours are going to vary, correct?
Yeah, number of hours of coaching education will vary.
Mentoring hours, right?
Mentoring hours is the same, but who will mentor will vary. Whether it's
Their
PCC or
mentors
MCC.
eligibility.
Yeah. PCC
And
and
their
MCC. For
qualifications.
PCC means your mentor should be either a PCC or an MCC. For MCC, your mentor should be an MCC in good standing. What does that mean? Good standing means, let's assume I got my MCC, right? And it expired last December. It expired. I'm just for example, if it expired, I cannot call myself an MCC.
Okay.
So if I mentor, it is not valid. So there are cases where there are cases where somebody has been mentored by a coach who said, I am a ICF credential blah. And when they put in the application, ICF verifies the backend. If the coach is not in their database, they will reject the application. It has happened to a few people.
So apart from this particular reason that the particular mentor coach is not currently having a standing, has not renewed the coaching credential whatsoever, are there any other reasons my application can get rejected?
Your application can rejected is level 1 ACTP, ACSTH. I don't think that could be any other reason. Portfolio, they may reject if the coaching education that you provided doesn't meet the ICF standards. When I say ICF standards, if the content of the program that you went through, which is not approved by ICF, do not meet any of the ICF core competencies, then that will get rejected in the verification of the coaching education only. It will not even go for assessment.
I understand. So what I'm totally trying to sum up here is, when I go to a training education provider, I'll have to ask about the coaching education hours, about the mentoring hours, and in addition to that, ask who is the mentor coach as well, and then do my own research
better. And also one more thing, hey, you say that 60 hours of coaching education, what percentage of that will be in real time? What percentage will be, they call it synchronous and asynchronous. And also, you're talking about this client coaching hours and all that. How are you going to enable us to practice? Yeah, theory is one thing good, but theory is not good enough, right? It is not about reading books on how to swim. You have to go jump into the pool and swim also. So while I'm swimming, how are you going to help me swim properly? Your swimming tutor or trainer or whatever that we call it, that is the mentor's role. Whether you are technically you are taking the right strokes or not, breathing, all of that is the role of the mentor. So they also have to create that system of you being able to practice on a regular basis. So they can't say, boss, you go figure out your coaching, client coaching hours. When you meet your whatever number, then you come back to us. We'll do the mentoring. I find it very unreasonable and unethical.
So according to you, what would be the minimum number of coaching hours that I should actually practice, and the mentor should guide me whether I'm coaching in the way I should be coaching or not?
See, I would say you coach for about 5-6 hours, take a recording, go to your mentor. And let the mentor say what are the areas that you need to improve, and then work on that. Maybe practice for another 5-6 hours and then go back to your mentor. Right? So if the mentor has given you consistent feedback for about 25-30 hours, I think you'll be on track.
Right. Thank you so much for that. I think now it's a good time to open the floor for the audience, and then they can straight away ask questions. There's one question in the chat already that I can start. Krishnan S is asking, is there merit in being a member? I'm assuming he's asking about member of ICF.
Yeah, there is a lot of merit in being a member. There are a lot of things which is going on in ICF, and one of the things that I'm really drawn into is their ICF learning portal. The learning portal at any given point in time will have about at least 200 courses where either you can attend in real time, But if you're in the US, it works better for you. But if you're in a different time zone, all those courses are recorded and made available for you to go through on demand. And I extensively leverage that. So the way that I look at ICF membership is not cheap. It's very expensive. Right now it's about $245 per annum. And I think they're going to increase it to about $270. But I'm looking at, hey, if I can get quality coaching education, right? Maybe about 30 hours or 40 hours a year at a investment about $240, $250, I think I will take it because I'm serious about the profession. And yeah, if I'm saying this is my bread and butter, this is what I want to do for my life, and I'm a professional coach, ideally I should become an ICF member. Yeah.
Right. Now the floor is open to the audience.
Yeah, I see Parul's hand raised. Parul, go ahead and ask the question.
Hi, Shrikant.
Hi,
Really,
Parul.
but thank you, Shrikant and Ponlata, for facilitating the session. First of all, my question is, so I am an aspiring coach, and I have been doing research for last 3 weeks and going across like 5, 6 organizations. I've already been to trying to get the information. The major problem that I have faced is really getting to know the mentor and what are the criteria. For example, some mentors you can really approach, but some mentors in bigger institutes you can't approach. It's you have to take. You can. I have been to their LinkedIn. I've gone through any testimonial I can find about them. The major issue is what are the different criterias that I should really judge a mentor with. That okay, this mentor would be really good.
See, it's very difficult to make a call just by looking at the profile. I won't recommend that. If you're not able to get in touch with a mentor for whatever reason, I think you should drop. You should not even waste your time. The first Narayan will agree with me on this. First requirement for a mentor is to be approachable, and if they're throwing their weight around, just move on. If you get time with whoever that you want to kind of interact, there are a couple of things that you may want to check. One is ask who are the people that you have mentored, and then you can do a ref check. You can talk to those people who have mentored by him, if he's willing to share, and also the mentee is willing to share information. Or the easiest thing that you can do is ask the person to coach you. You have an experience of coaching, or if you have a recording, ask the person to go through your recording and ask him to give a feedback, right? It could be for a fee, it could be pro bono, whatever. Yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Okay. Thank you, Shrikant.
And also, Parul, you don't have to waste your time on LinkedIn. There is a mentor registry that you can go. It's out there on the website. I'll just put that link also. There you can write to them. Just give a minute. I think I have it somewhere here. Yeah. So
Thanks, Paul, for that question.
yeah, so it's here. I'll put this link. So mentor coaching, blah, 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 all of that it says, what should be the duties and competencies. There's a PDF you can download. And here you can go and search.
Okay.
Search now. You can search here. Whatever, agree and then search. It's all very easy. Just put something and search there. And I'm just going to put this link also on the box. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, I can see the link. Now I have a follow-up question based on what Parul asked. So, say for example, when you said find a time with the mentor coach, what are you trying to say? You're trying to say get on a call with them for 10 minutes or a message or a DM through LinkedIn, through any of these ways?
See, with any of these methods, you have to get FaceTime with the mentor. You have to know whether that person is the right mentor for you, and that mentor has to know whether you're the right person to be a mentee, right?
Hmm.
Just because we have gone digital doesn't mean that everything has to happen digital now. End of the day, we are all human beings. Coaching is all about being human.
Right. So
No,
minimum
and it's
10
not.
minutes of online FaceTime could be a good idea,
Absolutely.
isn't
10,
it?
15 minutes.
Yes. Thank you. I can see some questions
Yeah,
in the
somebody is
chat
asking, please advise renewal of PCC.
credential.
Renewal of PCC is very simple. I'll just explain this to you. Once you get a PCC credential, any credential, that credential is valid for 3 years. In 3 years, within the 3 years, you have to complete a minimum 40 hours of continuing coaching education, which your chapters will be able to give it free of cost. If you are enrolling for any CC paid course, you can use them. Or you can go to the learning portal and some 200, 250 courses are available, just accumulate those hours. And then you apply. Yeah, for PCC, no mentoring is required. Okay, so 40 CCE means 40 hours of coaching education. Now let's assume for whatever reason that you missed the renewal date. By default, ICF will give you 2 months of grace time to renew.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. ICF will give grace time of 2 months to renew. In case you are not able to renew, for every month of delay, I think you have to do an additional. I'm not exactly sure about the number of hours. I think it is 1.5 or 2.5. And then you can just keep compensating. But if you do not renew for 10 months, then ICF will, your credential is out. That's it. It expires completely. So let me just share the screen with you here. I'm going to put this also. Renew your credential. Okay. Renewal fees, estimate timeline, all of that. And there is a renewal guide somewhere here.
Renewal requirements.
You can all of that. Yeah. Upgrading, renewing fully, renewing lapse credential. It talks about, it's here, right? So every month there is a delay. What they keep adding some 1 point, whatever. So I'm going to put this also.
Thank you, Shri. I think it's been a lot of information.
Go ahead.
So anybody, now the floor is again open to the audience. Anybody has a very specific instance that you want to share?
I see like Narendra raising the hand. Narendra, go ahead and ask your question, Narendra.
Sure. I'd like to start by giving you both a compliment. While I've attended many sessions, I think this session is beautiful because of the way Ponlata simplified all the questions so that at least I am able to understand. So kudos to you. I have two questions.
Sure, go ahead.
When you were showing the eligibility requirements, I saw the number, 27,000 ACC coaches. So, that caught my attention and saying, and also when you were talking about the requirements, one requirement is the ability to build a coaching business after the certification or the credential. That is also, kind of very important. So I'd like to kind of, it may not directly relate to the portfolio path. I just wanted to ask, saying that, because, for example, I've also heard that, ACC is not enough, the minimum threshold is like PCC to kind of get weight in the market kind of thing. So if you could weigh in on these points and, kind of give a practical view so that it doesn't remain a certificate and there is a practical application that I can do.
Okay. Actually, I wrote a post on a LinkedIn post on that. I'm just going to put it here. Please go through it when you find the time. The credentials that you hold has got no relevance to you building a coaching business, right? You can have a ACC credential and still start building a coaching business. You need to understand your coaching credential is about how competent are you in your coaching. That competency and skills are not good enough to build a coaching business. So you have to pay equal amount of attention to build these two parallelly. You get your coaching credential, and just because you got your now somebody says ACC is not enough, PCC is, you need to go for PCC. I would blatantly tell you they are trying to sell your program. How do I know that? Because I was told the same thing. ACC is not enough, do your PCC, clients are going to come and follow your lab. When clients didn't fall in my lab, when I told my training provider the clients are not coming and falling on your lab, they said you need to do MCC. This is all humbug, okay? Now please understand, I'm being very brutal about it here. Whether you have an ACC, PCC, MCC, it doesn't matter what credential you have, right? You need to be a competent coach. That is one side of your coaching. You need to be building a coaching business. If you don't have the competencies, then hire people who will help you build that for you. Hire a team which will help you do that. You say, I'm only going to coach, it's perfectly fine. But somebody has to market you, somebody has to generate leads for you, somebody has to get clients for you. If you're not able to do that in your own, you hire a team who can do that for you. These are two different things. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so
saying
Narayan
that
says, so Narayan says some organizations may say ACC is not enough, you need PCC, then of course stop luck. Then if they say you need that, you can't do anything. It's a requirement from them. It's a requirement from them, yeah.
He's talking about corporates sponsoring coaching
Yes.
for their own employees, and then they want to accredited coach to be part
So
of the program.
is Narayan asking a question here? Some organizations have a requirement for considering you as an empaneled coach, sometimes PCs are here.
Yes, he's
No,
talking
no, what
about some
Narayan saying is
corporates.
that, what Narayan saying that, for example, let's say you want to work for a corporate. Corporates have a minimum criteria, you need to be a PCC. Minimum, right? Now they, like earlier they used to say you can be an ICF credential coach. Looks like now they have raised the bar and say ACC is not enough, you need to have a PCC. See, this is my personal experience. Corporates are not happy with anything that you have. You have an MCC, they will say, I want an organ certification. You have an organ certification, they will say, I need this. It's a never-ending requirement that they have.
Right. So what I understand is be competent in your skill, have a credentialed, training, find a training education provider, get your credential at the same time, parallelly work on building your business. That's what he's saying. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that question, Narendra.
Yeah, Paul has got another question again. Yeah, Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then Pooja.
So, because I have been talking to people, right now, what I know is about all the levels that you have told. Though a lot of the people have come and told me that you should also learn NLP, you should also learn this skill. So, how do a person know that, okay, even if I do ICF, ACC, do I need to understand other concepts or take other courses as well on the side to get more skilled or more competent in this space?
It's a good question, and I'm going to answer this.
Okay.
If you're looking for assignments in corporates, I don't know, at least I have not heard of any corporate asking for an NLP certification. Not that I know of, right? They may say you do a Hogan assessment, they may say you do a Belbin, they may say you did a Harrison and do you a strength find, whatever they come. I have never heard of somebody doing it. I strongly believe you're a coach, yeah, and ICF credential is a big deal. Ideally, an organization should not ask for anything, okay? For individuals who are coming to you, how does it matter whether you are an NLP or a Falana or Dimkana? They don't care, yeah? They are coming to you to resolve a problem in their life. And you are using coaching as an approach. While there's mentoring and therapy and counseling and all of that, you use coaching as an approach. Please understand your role as a coach. Your role as a coach is to not fix the problem. Your role as a coach is to help them or enable them to solve their problem, right? So if somebody says your ICF is not enough, you need to get NLP, I think they're selling their problem. They may not like what I'm saying, but I'll have to say what I have to say.
Okay. So can I ask a small follow-up and I can reframe
No,
question?
unless Parul, you feel there is a need.
Yeah, that was the next question.
Unless
Because
you feel, hey, I think if I learn NLP, it'll be good. For example, right? I'll tell you. I run a large coaches community of more than 200 people. So one of the PCC did an outstanding masterclass on Gestalt, right? I was super impressed with the Gestalt. So I want to know what Gestalt is. So I enrolled for a program, Gestalt program. It was a 4-day program from 2 in the afternoon to 10. Yeah. I was bored out of death. But if I found it interesting and if I felt that it was making sense to use some of the things that was there, I would have made use of it. But I didn't find any value out of it. So I just dropped it. So they are after me saying that you need to finish a certification, you need to do the exam. I said, boss, money gone, move on. I'm moving on with my life. I don't want to waste my time. Yeah, 40 hours I waste enough.
okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Pooja raised the hand and Rima has raised the hand. Yeah, go ahead, Pooja.
Hi, Shri and Ponlata and everyone.
Pooja Kumar. Okay, go ahead.
This Puja.
Yeah. There are many Poojas.
So,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
there's an issue with the video. So my question was, there is a very rampant lack of transparency which you spoke about when it comes to coaching education providers in the market, and it is a lot of us have faced the brunt of it. And since ICF is the gold standard of coaching globally, and so I'm curious to know, what has ICF done to clamp down on these education providers? Have they done anything? And two, can we, as people who face the brunt, can we, is there some ombudsman, or what can we do about it so that other people, it's hard-earned money after all, like you said. So I know you are doing a lot of work in this area by spreading this knowledge that you're doing today. What else can we do? I mean, as in,
Okay. So if you feel that they are being very the whoever training provider, whoever is not being fair and they're not being ethical,
yeah,
there is a process. There's a process. Please write to ICF. There is a process. They will, if you write to them, they will investigate, and if they find the person has breached the code of ethics, they will punish. But the thing is, how many of you are willing to take that risk to escalate? You don't want to do it, right? Right now I have somebody 2 weeks ago, this person wrote to me saying that I enrolled for a 125 PCC course. They given me some certificates, some Falana Dimkana 7 certificates. Last 4 years, I have learned nothing. I paid 2.8 lakh rupees, right? Unless you who has been a victim of that thing don't escalate, how will ICF know?
Yeah.
They will not know. So that is a process. I just show it to you, just give it.
so you spoke about risk, Shri. So if I want to escalate, what do you think would be the risk? My issue here is coaching education companies not being transparent, especially around mentoring. We are
Write to
told,
them, just
okay, 40,
call out and you actually call them out and say, hey, you said you are going to do this, you're not done it, I'm going to escalate. Because you're not voicing, they're just keeping quiet.
Yeah, no,
There's a process.
they did not say that they'll give mentoring. But they at the end said that if you want to be a ACC, you will have to pay us 35K extra.
That's
Later,
exactly what I'm telling you. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. ACSTH route, right? It only says we will give you coaching. By requirement, they have to give you only coaching education. Some institutes will say we will also give the 10 hours mentoring, including in that. But if they're not told, that means they're not going to give it to you.
Yeah, true.
So that is a whole
Some
objective
people are
of
telling
this
and not giving. If
particular-
they're not told, how will they give?
Correct. And that is this whole objective of this masterclass as well, because
Yeah,
we'll
right.
be well equipped with what kind of questions to ask when we approach a training education provider. And then what are the minimum eligibility and the requirements that I need to be aware of so that I can go ask the right kind of questions. And
Right.
then verify that in the ICF site as well.
So I'm also putting the ethical thing here. Yeah, just go through that.
One more question.
Okay, so hold on. Parul, is it you? I am still exploring. So whenever I ask this question to some students, they say you will learn this when you go through the program, the learning style.
So
I wanted to ask
Naveen-
Srikanth about picking. Okay, I wanted to ask Srikanth about picking a coaching niche. Okay, let me be very honest about this with you. ICF doesn't care about niche. ICF only is focused on helping aspiring coaches to develop ICF core competencies. Okay, selecting a niche is not their headache. Coaching as per ICF is industry agnostic. Okay, if your training provider is saying something as you go along, we will figure out and all that. I don't know how much you have to trust them. We want to take it with a pinch of salt. If somebody comes to me and asks this question, I tell them, boss, I don't specialize on niche. I only provide coaching education purely based on ICF core competencies governed by the ICF Code of Ethics. Niche, selecting a business, running a business and all, it is not part of my level 1 program. If you want to do that, you have to do that separately with somebody else, and or you can do it with me, but it is completely out of scope for level 1. Okay, I will only select your program if you if they say I will select your program only if you give me business education. I'll say no, I will not do it. Please go and do with somebody who is doing it for you. Yeah, Prima, go ahead.
Good evening, Coach Srikanth. Thank you, Ponlata and Srikanth, for this session. I know we are top of the hour. I just wanted to
No,
ask.
I can be here for another maybe whatever. Ponlata is the
So,
one who has
being
as
an
a trainer, I guess.
aspiring coach, I was just talking to a few of my other colleagues who have either completed ACC or PCC, and some of them, they did tell that it is better that, you finish your examination for ACC and PCC together. So how does that work, and will that help us? And then
I'm going to break something for you. Okay, Prima, listen to me very carefully.
Sure.
To become eligible to apply for an ACC, you need 100 hours of client coaching. Okay?
Yes.
To become eligible to apply for PCC, you need 500 hours of client coaching. Okay? Now tell me, just give me in your current, I don't know what is the role that you are in. In your current role that you are doing, how many weeks or months will it take for you to get 100 hours of client coaching?
At least about 7 to 8 months.
7 to 8 months, okay? So 8 months you get your 100 hours. You need to get another 400 hours, and how many more months will it take?
It would easily take another year.
What you're saying is for 100 hours you will take 8 months. For another 400 hours you will take only 1 year.
No, if I stretch a lot, put that pressure on myself, leaving aside, my current job, and then focus only on these sessions, then I can, complete it in a year. But otherwise, it would definitely take, 2 to 3 years for me to complete it.
So this call of whether I should do my ACC credential or whether my PCC credential, it is your personal thing.
Okay.
Okay. Now you can ask Pooja. She's been going on with whether I should do PCC, whether I should ACC. She's been going on with that particular decision for almost more than 1 year. So she will be able to answer it better. Okay. Now, the point I want to make is, if you are somebody who you're not in the corporate and you want to get your credential, and then you want to look for opportunities in corporates, the sooner you have an ICF credential, it is better. Okay. If you can get an PCC credential much faster, go for it.
Okay.
Absolutely go for it. But if you think the PCC credential is going to take a lot of time, do the ACC, get an experience. Okay. Now, Narayan will agree with me on this. 100 hours, the way that ICF has defined is paid hours is you can do peer coaching, right? So you can coach somebody, that coach can coach you, and you can get your 100 hours by peer coaching. You can get your 500 hours also by peer coaching. The issue is, Rima, if you're not coaching a paid client with a real problem, you're never going to improve your quality of coaching.
Yes.
If you get your PCC credential or ACC credential, whatever it may be, just by doing peer coaching, the piece of paper that you've got is of no use.
Got it.
I know coaches who have got 300 hours of client coaching, 350 PC training finish, who come to me and said, when I sit in front of a paid client, I don't know how to coach. And the good thing is they're admitting and making themselves vulnerable and coming to me for mentoring. Not many people do.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I totally agree when Shrikant says that there's a world of difference between doing your peer coaching versus you coaching a real client who's totally out of this coaching circle and who's throwing you fresh problems and you trying to use your fresh vocabulary to. I think there's a world of difference.
So I think there are some messages, Lata, you want to very quickly go through them. I'm not opening. I'll get distracted.
Yes. So I was just quickly texting Narendra about the niche. I kind of hinted him to write to you in LinkedIn, and maybe a coaching
I
experience.
shared
can
my
help.
LinkedIn post, just go through it. Yeah.
Yes, I think maybe a coaching experience can help him sort his niche. So he's just replying to that. And then Narayan also replied saying niche makes marketing yourself very simpler. So he just kind of helped that question to Narendra as well. All right. Maybe another 5 more minutes, Shri.
Some more messages are there, Purnalata. I just want to go through it.
Yes, now I can see. How would peer coaching work in the portfolio part?
Okay. So please get a clear understanding of the portfolio path, right? Portfolio path, what are you doing? You are going and getting coaching education from organizations which are not approved by ICF. So you may have got some coaching education which is not approved by ICF, but you can write, you can document, there's a process and you can claim, right? Now, peer coaching through portfolio, you will have to find your own community and do it, okay? I have a very different approach to the portfolio path. Portfolio path is not very well known in India, or at least institutes which are providing training don't want to talk about it because they don't make a lot of money. Portfolio path, because their education is anyway approved by ICF, why would anybody come to them? So what I have done is I've created a cohort where I'm providing only mentoring. So when I create these cohorts, in the cohort, maybe 5 people, 6 people or whatever, so you can do peer coaching among the participants. The other thing that people can do also is the moment they become part of any of my program, or even if they're not any of my program, if the ICF trainer or credential coach, they can become part of my larger community of 200 coaches. So they can join the community and then they can do peer coaching. So I have very recently somebody 2 weeks ago, I think I wrote a post on LinkedIn today. 2 weeks ago, this person reached out to me, said I'm exploring level 1, I want to talk to you. So this person talked to me for about an hour. And then the person had a lot of questions. I said, do one thing. There seem to be a lot of questions. Very difficult to answer all the questions. I would invite you to come and sit through one of my cohort sessions, 4 hours, sit through it. After that, if you have any questions, you can ask. So person sat through, really enjoy and all of that. Wanted to sit through one more session. I allowed that person to do it. Then later that person came and told me, I really loved what you taught, energy, blah, 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 all of that. But I want to let you know that I was doing this research with three of my friends, and they have decided to go with another training provider, and I want to go join that training. I said, perfectly fine. I said, as far as you have done the right research and you feel this is the right program for you, please go and do it. Having said that, my community is open for you. The only thing is I need proof saying that you have joined somebody's ICF training. It need not be mine. It can be anybody's. If you can give me the proof, please go ahead and join. So I think I have a few admins, and one of the admins got in touch with her, and they got it sorted, and the person has joined. Perfectly fine. Yeah.
So I have another question with respect to the portfolio path. I think this is from Ridul. The question is, just one minute. So if they're asking about the price, the slashed price with the portfolio path. And then is the understanding right that does it cost less financially to go through the portfolio path versus the other training programs? And then is there any math you've already done comparing the costs?
Yeah. Okay. So what is the benefit of the portfolio? The benefit of the portfolio path is that if you have already done some coaching education, which is not approved by ICF, that coaching education can be considered for the portfolio path. Okay. That means let's assume that you spend about 2 lakh rupees on some coaching education which was not approved. But if you are able to map those content to the competencies, ICF will take it, right? So in that way, you are not paying for the coaching education. You are only paying for mentoring. Obviously, the price will come down. Okay. Now let's assume that you got an ACC credential. I want all the ACC credential people to listen to me very carefully. You got the ACC credential. You are done only with 60 hours of coaching education. Or PCC, you need another 65. Okay. Now, if you go to a training institute, they are going to ask you to pay a fee, upgrade from ACC to PCC, whatever, it could be anywhere between 1.5 to 2.5 lakhs or whatever. They will give their coaching education, they make you mentoring, they may not giving mentoring out. The moment you become an ACC credential coach and become a member of ICF Global, the learning portal is wide open for you. Get all your coaching education for free. And then find a good mentor. The good mentor need not be me. It could be a mentor like Narayan who's got tremendous amount of experience, and work with that person. And that will be significantly less price than you going and doing a program. Just give it 2 minutes. I didn't expect this question to come. Let me see whether I
think I
can pull
posted
up
the
some.
link just now, Shri, in the chat, if we can see.
And which
the-
link one?
I think the one where you wrote about the slashed prices.
Okay, actually, okay, sorry. I can actually, whoever has asked me that question, I can help you with this. I have, give me a minute. I'm just going to help you with this. Very recently, I sent this to somebody. I'm going to, yeah, here is this. I did a webinar sometime early this year where I'm talking about the portfolio path. Okay. It's on YouTube.
Oh, right. I forgot the link. Yes, that is also available.
Yeah, I'm just putting it on this thing. Please go through it. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm just, since this person asked me, I just need to do justice to this. Yeah. Okay. Right. I have a case study. I'll just show the case study to you.
Mridul, I hope you are looking at the link that's there in the chat.
Okay, here's the case study.
Yes, yes.
I'll show this to you. Okay, here is a person. These are all live cases. Finish ACC.
Wow.
If the person decide to take the ACTP or level 2 training, this is what they would have invested, because mentoring they wouldn't have invested anything. Training and mentoring comes with the same price. Application would have costed them $375. ACS would have been this portfolio. They only invested this much, so half.
I think we also have a lot of LinkedIn posts written by credential coaches who've taken the portfolio route, either with you or somebody else, about this particular aspect of the cost.
How does one prepare for the assessment now to meet the ICF standard? There are only 2 things that you need to go through. One is the ICF Code of Ethics, and the other one is the ICF Core Competency. Beyond that, you don't have to know anything. you can learn your neuroscience-based coaching and ontological coaching and positive psychology coaching and strength-based coaching and this coaching, that coaching. ICF doesn't care. All that they care is how much of grip have you got in your ICF code of ethics, the core principles and the core competencies.
Competencies.
See, one follow-up
Thanks
question
for
to what
that.
Sunita has just asked.
Yeah.
Is there a difference in the exam for ACC and PCC, or are they identical exams?
No, I'll tell you. The history is that earlier they had something called a CKA. It's an online exam, which was not proctored, not monitored. So people can refer to whatever while they're doing the exam from home. Just to get rid of this, they said we are going to call it the ICF credentialing exam through prometric, proctored, and all of that. Initially, when they started, they said they're going to have different standards for different credentials. But I don't think it was possible, right? So they came to a realization it's not possible. Right now, regardless of what level that you are applying for your credential, the exam standards are the same. Okay. Having said that, they're trying to go back to the old CKA format for the ACC. Right now, they have done a pilot, and we don't know what is going to happen of the pilot results. So we will have to wait and see.
Right, thanks.
I think we have one more important question from Sunita Shrikant. She
Yeah.
says most training schools do not focus much on the ICF core competencies, which means the learning hours on the ICF core competencies are very less. So how does one navigate and succeed?
So I have a question. If they're not focusing on ICF core competencies, what are they actually coaching in education? Because 80% of the content that the training provider provides as coaching education should be mapped to ICF core competencies. Then what are they teaching? These are requirements. This is not I'm shooting from my hip. These are requirements very well clearly mentioned on the ICF website.
So this can also be one of the very important questions that I can ask to any education provider, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah. Okay, let me just show this to you because this is a very important thing. Coaching education. I'm just going to put this link here. Right. Go to coaching education. I'm just going to show the screen to you. Right. It's showing up. Yeah. Level 1, level 2, level 3. I'm just going to click on level 1. Okay. It says what it is. All that thing, whatever they say. Okay. Education and training. I'm just going here. Okay. ICF providers will be designated with levels, blah, 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 all of that. And they say for level 1 accreditation, formally it must meet the following requirements. Okay, and go down. Contact hours should be 60 to 125. The moment you hit 125, it becomes level 2. Out of this, at least 50% should be delivered synchronous real time. Remaining 50% education. Okay. Can we deliver?
80% focused on
Yeah.
core
Yeah.
competencies.
Correct.
I'm reading.
Contact hours, all of that, homework, and all of that. They say here is where they say, what is the requirement? If you join as a participant, what is that you should expect? Level 1 accredited providers are required to provide a minimum 5 observed coaching sessions for each participant. Written feedback must be provided for at least 3 of the. Ask your training provider, are you giving me all this? 10 hours of mentoring. Level accreditation are required to provide 10 hours of mentoring over 3 months. Mentor coaching, definition, participant, blah, 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 structure, all that. Performance evaluation, requirements, everything is there. The problem
It is
is
definitely laid out black and white.
everything is there. It's black and white. Everything is there. What is required for level 1, level 2, level 3? Everything is there.
All an aspirant has to do is spend considerable number
Spend
of
time.
hours.
Spend time to do
Take
the
notes.
research instead of going and spending money in the wrong place.
Thank you so much for that.
Okay.
All
What
right.
other questions can we
So,
answer?
any more questions? I think so far we've answered all the questions that are there in the chat box. Right. So as a final note, Shri, do you have any specific input for the newbie aspirants or the ones aspiring to become PCC or MCC, especially when it comes to the ones who want to build a global audience, whether they have questions regarding whether my credentialing is recognized worldwide, can I attract international audience through this? So if for such audience, do you have any final note?
Okay, so ICF is the largest organization out of many other organizations which are, providing coaching, education, and credentialing and all of that. If you get a credential from ICF, ideally it should be accepted anywhere in the world. There's also another organization. I'm not aligned to it, so I don't want to talk about it. So if you feel that your chances of increasing opportunities with more clients in more regions, you can do your research and go and do your credentialing from other organizations as well. This is my personal view. Choose one organization, be loyal, go deep. Okay. What is more important is, this is very important. While you are a coach, you need to continuously keep upgrading yourself in this domain of coaching. You should have a mentor who will mentor you in terms of coaching, in terms of building a business. You should have a coach for yourself, right? Regardless of what level of coaching you are. And you should have a supervisor who will also help you to sort yourself out. Okay. If you are very serious about this profession, be willing to invest on all of this. And magic will not happen in one day. It is like planting a Chinese bamboo tree. You put the sapling and then keep nurturing, like some many years, nothing seems to be happening. Nothing grows. After a few years, 10 weeks or 2 weeks or something, you will see it growing to about 20 feet, right? So it is planting, nurturing, and harvesting. It is not planting and harvesting. So a lot of coaches who join coach training programs, want to become coaches, they're in a hurry, right? They cannot be in a hurry, right? Whatever education that you went through in the past, just reflect on that. Whatever education that you went through in the past, for you to make a decent amount of money, you took a long time. And what makes you feel that the coaching is going to be different? Just because somebody puts an ad saying that I'm going to help you build a 6-figure coaching business, 7-figure coaching business, do you think it's really going to work that way? No. No. Be willing, be prepared to fail. Like any other profession, be willing to fail, be willing to learn. Then the magic will happen. See, the caterpillar becoming a butterfly is not an easy journey. It's a hard process. It's a hard process, right? If you're willing to put yourself through that rigor and the struggle, you will become successful one day. I don't know which day. I started my coaching business in 2011. I'm still sorting myself out. Failed a couple of times. This is the third time I'm getting it right. And when I say I'm getting it right, I've been in the business. The third time when I started for about 3.5 years. So have I got myself sorted completely? No. I'm also making mistakes, but I'm willing to experiment, take those risks and make those mistakes. And I know one day it will pay me the dividends. The only question that you need to ask again and again and again is that, what is the reason I chose this profession? Did I choose this profession just to make money? Or is there a reason and purpose behind this profession that I got? Yeah, that's it. A long lecture for a short question.
But very meaningful, takeaways, Shri, because with that final note on the purpose, I think that is when everything lands. If I'm clear with that, then I would do the number of hours of research very diligently in the ICF website. And then I would ask the required number of questions to the training institutes. And then I would definitely land up in a good training program. So thank you so much for that.
So I'm just finishing with because this conversation happened about 2 weeks ago. One PCC coach reached out to me and said, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I'm also planning to start a level 1 coach education program. I said, okay, good. What credibility do you have to start one? Okay. Or 10 years of experience in whatever industry, then I just got my credential about 6 months ago. So what I said is, what I'm hearing is that you got your credential 6 months ago, PCC, and you feel that somebody will come to learn to become a coach from you. What gives you this confidence? So everybody's doing it. Okay. But how much of research have you done? How much time does it take to put a program together? How much time does ICF take to approve it? How much time does it take for you to market and get people to run a batch? So no, I have not done anything. What he said is, when I joined the program or whatever institute, they said the clients will come and follow my lab. It's not happening. I'm finding it hard to get clients. Now I thought starting a coaching education is an easier option. Naran is smiling, he's just smiling and smiling, right? It's very sad, isn't it? So I said that this is what I said. Hey, when you left your corporate and you decided to get into the coaching profession, what is the reason? Is it make a life? So you started you started your training for coaching and you want to become a coach because you want to make a difference in other people's life and all of that. Now, what I'm hearing, what you're saying is that because you're not getting any money to run your whatever, you want to do something which is not your real purpose. And I want to reflect on that. I want you to reflect on that, and I left it. Yeah, Narayan says there is some truth. There are coaches and aspiring coaches. I agree. Agree, absolutely. Okay, so with that, I think we are on top of time, Lata, and you need to catch a train. I know that. So
Thank you so
wish
much,
you all
Sri,
good luck.
for all the time.
And
Yes.
hopefully I will have this on YouTube in the next couple of days. And whoever has registered for this session, we will share the link, and whoever is not able to be there also, they can watch it and reach out to either me or Lata for further information. Yeah. All right. Thank you all so much. And sometime soon we'll meet. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.